do have you beaten him.
I will whoop your ass.
Bro, I'll pop that gap right back in that mouth. I'll have you looking like a saber gap tooth tiger. Oh my God, I'll do you dirty. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
You suck.
Hey, if I have though, you though. Oh my, here we go. Hey, not the same fighter. Hey, not the same fighter. Not the same. Hey, when I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say? When I put a beat on you, what are you gonna say?
I watched. I was there.
Hey, no, when I put a beat on you. I'm talking about you. You got no power. You got no power.
And you lost. And you still scared him to this day.
No. Bro, I'm gonna knock that gap right back in your mouth. I'm gonna knock that gap into your mouth again. Hey, you fix the teeth. You fix the teeth. But I'm gonna knock that right back in. I'm gonna put you bam.
It's Shakur's time right now. Let's
Yeah, let's do it. Hey. Like back in the days, right?
It's the biggest fight right here.
No, I thought you was bigger than this,
bro. You know I'm not big. Wait, why do you think I was big?
God, oh man. Wait, good luck.
Something far bigger, far louder, and far more explosive. And now, with Shakur Stevenson stepping out of the shadows with that cold, surgical smile, the boxing world is sitting at the edge of something it hasn't felt in years. Pure, unfiltered, undeniable anticipation.
He's right there, Shakur Stevenson. Let's go. Let's run that. Hey, I want to be a great champion, and I'm not scared of I fought Devin Haney, I'll fight Shakur Stevenson, I'll fight anybody. Let's go.
You know, Shakur Stevenson, Ryan, Shakur Stevenson was on our DAZN broadcast earlier, said he's levels above you right now. What do you think of that?
The thing is, like, you got to have some type of punching power to get me off you, because it'll be a different style, and I'm not going to hit him light. Nah. Every time I'm putting it on him, you know? I want that fight. Shakur, let's get it. I see you. Hey, I like the hat. You look fly, but I want that work. Let's get it.
Let's start with Shakur because the man didn't scream, didn't post a dramatic video, didn't throw a chair. He did something far more terrifying. He spoke quietly.
I think he wiped the floor with him. You know, I don't think Ryan gonna be able to hit Shakur like Barrios. Barrios was right there to be hit. Barrios was too slow. Barrios didn't have no game plan. He followed them the whole fight. And Shakur is not going to be that fighter in there to be hit.
He looked directly into the camera with the kind of calm that doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from certainty. Shakur Stevenson told the world that if he and Ryan Garcia ever shared a ring, he wouldn't just outbox him.
We're very fast. You're going to see people that are quick back and forth. And Shakur knows that he can't get lazy with me at all. That's why, like, he was looking at me right now and goes, ooh, you're not even big. I'm like, bro, you were scared if I was big? That's crazy. Like, that's what you were scared of? All right. So I got a little glimpse on what he was kind of worried about. But size don't win fights at all. You seen that today. Mario was bigger than me. But I was...
He would knock him out. Read that again. Shakur Stevenson, a man whose entire identity is built on defensive mastery, slick movement, and point-scoring precision, is promising a knockout. That's not trash talk. That's a declaration of psychological warfare wrapped in a three-piece suit. He dismissed Mario Barrios like a warm-up exercise and made it absolutely clear that he sees Ryan Garcia not as a threat, but
How does it end in your opinion? Decision, knockout?
We'll hit him with a body shot, he's done.
Why the body shot?
He can't take his body shot. We already know.
Really?
Yeah, and he doesn't have a better jab than my son. My son has an awesome jab. We beat him in the amateurs, okay, with the jabs. When Ryan was young, Ryan was only 16 years old. But he qualified 17, 18 with Shakur. Shakur was on that level. So if you're within 2 years, they're gonna put you in that category, okay? And I said, Ryan, we didn't know Shakur, they didn't know us. But I said, you know what, Ryan, let's work on that jab. Ryan was throwing that beautiful jab, pop, pop, pop. I said, okay, that's what we're gonna work.
there's a problem he's already solved in his head before the first bell has even rung. Calculated, cold, almost robotic in his certainty. If Shakur Stevenson is your enemy, the scariest thing isn't that he's angry, it's that he's not.
You know, whatever. You know, Shakur is somebody that I fought in the amateurs, and we went at it, you know, and I felt like I beat him. But, you know, the politics in the USA boxing at that time were a little different, and I still got a chip on my shoulder. I've been wanting that rematch for a minute. Hopefully we get it. And, you know, when my hand heals, I'll be looking.
But Ryan Garcia came out of that Barrios fight riding a wave so high it could drown lesser men. Still glowing from one of the most dominant performances of his career, Garcia didn't hesitate for a single second. He looked straight at Shakur Stevenson and essentially said, "Run the fight, come get it," because Ryan Garcia didn't just win on Saturday night.
Oscar, apologies if you've already been asked about these two opponents, but what do you think a fight with Shakur Stevenson looks like? They talked about fighting each other next. What do you think that fight would look like?
I love the fight. I mean, look, there's so many options there for Ryan now. Everybody wants to fight him. Everybody wants to dethrone the pretty boy, you know? Now that he has a world title, everybody's after him. So yeah, I think it's a matter of just regrouping, let Ryan rest, and he'll make his decision.
Once he announced an evolution, he talked about his speed, his jab, his ring intelligence. And then he pulled out the card nobody expected. The amateur win. He has already beaten Shakur Stevenson before. Yes, it was in the amateurs, yes, it was years ago, and yes, the sport has changed dramatically since then. But Ryan...
entire career, he's fought for interim titles. When he fought Tank Davis, we were doing VADA testing, and it wasn't for a title. He's been testing his entire career. Every single time we set up a fight, we sign a contract, there's VADA testing. There's no such thing as dropping out of VADA testing. So all those stories are just fabricated, people trying to hate on Ryan, and they're just excuses for Haney to feel good about himself. You know, Haney wants to have an excuse as to why he got beat up, and that's it. So it's all...
Garcia made sure to plant that seed directly in the public consciousness, because in boxing, psychological real estate matters just as much as physical ability. He's telling Shakur, "I've already been in your head and I've already won. Now imagine what I'll do as a professional."
I want to go back to the haters because I gotta let this off my chest because I won't be able to sleep. But Chris Algieri, you're a piece of okay? I'm sorry. You and your corny ass partner, okay? Not believing in my son. Sergio Mora, I ran into him and he said, "No, your son made me a believer, so I'm not gonna go too hard on him." Okay? Robert Garcia, weird, man. Oh, my son can't go over 6 rounds. Sorry, dude. They don't know my son. I know my son, okay? And every father should know their son. Like.
And then Henry Garcia walked into the room and set it completely on fire. If Ryan was the composed, focused version of confidence, Henry Garcia was the volcano underneath it. The man did not come to give interviews. He came to defend his son with the kind of ferocity that only a father who has watched his child be doubted, criticized.
Well, let me say something real quick. I want to thank Golden Boy Promotions. I know people like to put us together as beef. I guess it sells, but, you know,
Let's go. Well, the answer to your question is, yeah, I know he did it for me, but I told him before, we had dinner last night, and I said, "You know what, Ryan?" I said, "I appreciate that." I said, "But you know what? You've already..."
And publicly torn apart can truly understand. Henry shut down every rumor, every fabricated narrative, every whisper about drug testing and questionable preparation with the kind of raw, unpolished passion that no PR team could ever manufacture. This wasn't corporate speak. This wasn't calculated messaging. This was a father standing in front of the world and saying, "My son did the work." My question.
What were your thoughts on Ryan's performance?
Look, that's exactly how Ryan fights. That's exactly how I knew he was going to fight. We tried to prepare for it as best we could. I think, you know, aside from that knockdown in the first round and a few other shots Ryan landed, we blocked a lot of his shots. Ryan obviously outscored us. He's tricky. He's great on his feet. He'll tie you up on the inside because that's not his favorite place to be. And then he'll move around and walk you into some shots, and if you stall out on him, he'll come and get you. You know, he's smart. He's smart, and he's fast, and he's fleet of foot. So he's got...
Son earned this, and anyone who says otherwise is going to deal with me personally. Henry pointed at Ryan's jab, the weapon that has quietly become one of the most improved tools in the sport, and said with complete conviction that Shakur Stevenson would not be able to handle Ryan's body shots. Not that it would be difficult, not that it might create problems. He said Shakur wouldn't be able to handle it. Full stop, no asterisk, no qualification. The Garcia camp is not dabbling in hope.
Watch Ryan, I've known Ryan for many years, and I got to tell you, Mario Barrios is a fine young man. I love the kid. He's really a wonderful, classy human being, Mario Barrios, and so is Ryan. We're all friends. It's a small community, the boxing community. So I'm happy for Ryan, and I'm sad for Mario Barrios. You know, he put a lot of work. Jonathan and I trained Mario, and we put in close to 3 months of a training camp with him, and it was serious, hard work. We were doing round after round of training. Now, I will tell you, and I don't make excuses for anybody, Mario, you saw how much bigger he is than Ryan. He had to make 147 pounds. I think it's going to be the last.
They are operating on belief so deep it borders on prophecy. Now let's talk about what Joe Goossen did, because it was arguably the most underrated moment of the entire aftermath. Mario Barrios' trainer sat down and did something remarkably rare in the sport of boxing. He told the truth. He acknowledged Ryan's speed. He acknowledged the footwork. He acknowledged the ring IQ. He admitted that Garcia outscored his fighter and executed a game plan with the kind of discipline that even critics couldn't dismiss. And then, in that subtle, experienced way that only a trainer of Goossen's caliber can pull off, he mentioned the weight cut. He didn't scream about it. He didn't make excuses. He just referenced it.
Barrios, one tough SOB. He was not going to get knocked out in the first round, and come to find out he wasn't going to get knocked out at all, but that was a tone setter for the fight. And it was like, from that moment on, Ryan had almost zero issue with Barrios, and Barrios had no answers for anything Ryan was doing. And again, I told you, go back and watch my video. Yes, the left hook was prevalent and it landed in this fight, and Ryan was devastating with it, but it would be the right hand. It would be the hand that everyone forgot that Ryan Garcia had. And one, to be fair, he hadn't shown had been as devastating as his lead hand for a very long time. That would be to see Barrios dominated like that. Like, Barrios has been stopped, right? He's been beaten. There was no pillar to post beating that I've ever seen anyone put on Mario Barrios like Ryan Garcia did tonight. And again, the variety in the shots, upstairs, downstairs, the lead hook, he would frame with the jab, which is something I love when fighters do. He would 1-2-1 and frame with that lead hand. And then when Barrios got past the lead hand, bang, left hook, pivot out, right hand. It was like he had an answer for everything Barrios did.
Quietly, deliberately, like leaving a breadcrumb for the audience to follow. Because in boxing, everyone knows what a brutal weight cut can do to a fighter's legs, their chin, their engine. Goossen gave credit, but he also left the door slightly open. And the most fascinating part of his breakdown was his description of Garcia as instinct-driven and unpredictable. Because in boxing, unpredictability isn't a flaw, it's a superpower. And Goossen, a man who has spent decades breaking down fighters, essentially confirmed that Ryan Garcia is the kind of problem that doesn't come with a simple solution. Here is where the story gets truly fascinating, because this matchup, Garcia versus Stevenson, is not just a boxing match. It is a collision of completely opposing philosophies about what boxing is supposed to be. Shakur Stevenson represents the purest dream, the textbook, the science. Every punch selected with the precision of a surgeon, every movement calculated 3 steps ahead, every decision rooted in discipline and control. He is what boxing professors draw on whiteboards. He is the technical ideal made flesh. And Ryan Garcia is the antithesis of all of that in the most beautiful way possible. Ryan Garcia is chaos organized just enough to be lethal. He has speed and power and instinct and a left hook that has already embarrassed world-class fighters at the highest level. He is unpredictable by design, emotional in the ring in the way that only the truly dangerous can afford to be. Shakur wants to write a thesis. Ryan wants to burn down the library. And that contrast doesn't just make this fight compelling. It makes it culturally significant. Because boxing, at its greatest, has always been the meeting point of opposing forces. It has always been most alive when two fighters who represent fundamentally different ideas about how to win are forced into the same small square and told to figure it out. Not because it's commercially smart, though it absolutely is. Not because both fighters need it for their legacies, though it would define both of theirs. It has to happen because boxing demanded it, and the sport rarely gets exactly what it deserves at exactly the right moment. Ryan Garcia versus Shakur Stevenson is the style collision the sport has been starving for. And the only question left is whether boxing will get out of its own way long enough to let it happen. Because when it does, nothing will be the same afterward. Not the division, not the conversation, and definitely not either of these two fighters. The chessboard is set, the pieces are in position, and somewhere Shakur Stevenson is already smiling that cold, quiet smile. While Ryan Garcia is probably already throwing combinations in the mirror. The storm is coming, and it is going to be absolutely beautiful